Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a lazy piece of shit that prefers working smarter rather than harder and dealing massive amounts of damage without a thought, then this video is for you. Before we dive into everything you'll need to create this build for yourself, let's have a quick look at everything you have to look forward to. With that out of the way, let's get into this. Now my lazy Zane build is tailored around Zane's clone, the Mayhem scaling it gets, as well as debuffing enemies with Zane's drone. Now this combination allows you to sit back and watch as everything is melted around you. To break everything down, we'll cover the gear you're gonna need. Once we've done that, we'll cover the skills which will make Mayhem 11 look like a walk in a park. Now for mobbing and occasionally getting ourselves out of sticky situations, we are running the superconducting plasma coil with the Sentinel active gain 100% damage as bonus cryo. Now if you haven't used the plasma coil before, it is an all-round beast of a weapon that you can get from Arms Race. So right now we're doing about 235k with headshots. So if we activate our Sentinel here, not only is the damage increasing from all the skills that we're using, but it's also doing an extra 90k on top of that. Now the rest of the guns that we're using are mainly for the benefit of the clone. So we have the grease trap with the anointment for while Sentinel is active, the fire rate is increased by 9% and the reload speed is increased by 23%. Now the reason why we have that, if you didn't know, the grease trap has two firing modes. So it has the hot grease firing mode, which will debuff the enemy and make them vulnerable to the fire starter. Now the fire starter will instantly set the enemy on fire and do an insane amount of damage, so without any buffs or anything, this is doing upwards of 500k. With all of the anointments and all the buffs that we have going on and the clone damage, this gun is insane. Now we also use the Sandhawk. Again, we mainly just give this to the clone, so the clone just does crazy amount of damage with this, and the downfall with the Sandhawk is really the ammo consumption, but with the clone you don't need to really worry about that. And again, we just have the Sentinel active gain 100% damage as bonus cryo, just on the off chance that we do actually need to shoot something. And then finally here, I usually just run with the back burner. Again, you just give this to the clone. The downfall with this is the ammo consumption, but again with the clone you don't really need to worry about that. There are a few other guns that I do like to run here, but this build is yet to be finished. So the cost-effective OPQ system again is another really great weapon. The free radical as well, which again is a really great weapon. You can also use the beacon with the clone as well, and the transformer. That's also a really good combination. You can pretty much use anything that just hits like a truck and you'll do absolutely fine. Now for the shield, we are using the Revolter. Now the reason why we've got level 17 Revolter is so that we don't need to use up an anointment to have it proc its benefits. So we're using the Sentinel active, the movement speed is increased by 15%. Because we're spec'd into Violent Momentum, that just boosts our movement speed, which will in turn boost the gun damage that we're already doing. Now if you didn't know, the clone also benefits from the Revolter, so if the clone ever gets shot, they will also get the benefits from the Revolter and do the extra shock damage. Now for the class mod, we are rocking the Seeing Dead class mod. Now for this, you want to try and get yourself as many points as you can into Donnybrook, and as long as you roll yourself with either weapon damage or action skill damage, you'll be absolutely fine. I had this one dropped to me months and months ago and I've never found anything better, so I usually just rock with this. Even though it's not perfect, it's pretty darn good. Now for the artifacts, we're running with Old Reliable, so the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, just for the consecutive hits extra damage boost, as well as the fire rate and the magazine size. And for the grenade, we're using the Fish Lap. Now we're spec'd into drone delivery, so our Sentinel here will occasionally drop ourselves a free grenade. Now the drone will also proc the on grenade thrown, so we also get the extra weapon, grenade and action skill damage whenever the drone drops a grenade. Now you can run with an alternate grenade if you don't want to run with a Fish Lap, so if not, I usually run with the It's Piss grenade, again with the on grenade thrown anointment, just so we can debuff the enemies, get ourselves the extra 25% damage for those 6 seconds. Now for the skill trees, we are running Synchronicity, so this will give us a extra 20% per active action skill for our gun damage. So where we're running the drone and the clone, that's an extra 40% on top of everything that we're already doing. We've got Premonitus, which will give us the extra magazine size, borrow time for the extra action skill duration. So again, at the moment this will give us a flat 30% per active action skill. So where we've got the 2, that's an extra 60%. 5 out of 5 into Donnybrook for the extra gun damage and a little bit of health regeneration. With the class mod that we've got, this is into 10 out of 5. Which has given us an extra 45 gun damage, which is absolutely insane. We've put 1 point here into duct tape mod, just on the off chance that we do throw a random grenade, but it's mainly just to move down the skill tree. We've also picked up quick breather, so whenever you swap a place with the clone, his shield and your shield just immediately begins recharging. Now we've also put 1 point into pocket full of grenades, so this will give us a grenade regeneration whenever we kill an enemy, just so that we don't need to worry about running out. For Boom Enhance. Now Boom Enhance basically puts the clone on steroids, so it increases the gun damage, the max health, the fire rate, the reload speed, and then the clone duration, as long as we have the 3 grenades to consume, so those 2 tie together. We've also got Super Starlink Man for the extra movement speed whenever we have our action skill, so that gives us an extra 12% per action skill active. And for the capstone, we've picked up Double Barrel. So this will allow our clone to copy the guns that we hold, so that's how he's able to hold the Sandhawk and the Backburner, and then the Grease Gun. Now for the blue tree here, we've put 5 into 5 into Violent Speed, and then 5 into 5 into Violent Momentum. So Violent Momentum will increase our gun damage the quicker that we're going, and Violent Speed will increase our speed. So those 2 work hand in hand. We've put 4 points into Cool Hand, so that's mainly just to increase our reload speed and to move down in the skill tree. Now again, we've got Drone Delivery, so our drone will drop a free grenade, or occasionally drop a fish slap, which will tie into Groundbreaker. So with Groundbreaker, any melee attack or slam will trigger an aftershock, which deals 25% of all non-melee damage that have been dealt over the last 5 seconds. So if we've hit an enemy for a million damage, it will deal 25% of that, because the fish slap deals melee damage. Now we've also put 1 point into Salvation, so Salvation will just give us lifesteal whenever we're dealing damage, which 3% of the amount of damage that we're dealing at the moment is more than enough to keep ourselves alive. We've also got Seeing Red for the kill skill bonus, so that any kill skill that we have, it will give us an extra 15% bonus on top of what we're already doing. We've put 5 points into Violent Violence for the extra fire rate. We've also put 3 points into Good Misfortune, so whenever we kill an enemy, it will increase our action skill duration, again just keeping everything active. And we've picked up the capstone for Death Follows Close, so again that will just increase the kill skill bonuses by 25% and affect the duration that those kill skills will last. Now finally, we've got the purple tree here, so the professional tree, and we've put 5 into 5 into Mana Focus, which will increase our accuracy and handling for a short time. Now these points you can move over if you do want, you can put it into Deja Vu, but I usually just like the extra accuracy. We've put 5 into 5 into Headsman's Hand, so this is another kill skill, and it will increase our critical hit damage. We put 5 into 5 here into Commitment, which will increase the gun damage and then our action skill cooldown rate, so just in case our clone does get killed, we can get that back pretty quick. And finally here we've put 3 points into Domino Effect, just to increase the fire rate and the reload speed whenever we gain a critical hit. I have seen the clone hit for upwards of 50 million damage in one go, so it is completely and utterly broken. Not to mention Zane as well. Zane is still doing a hefty chunk of damage, because just with the plasma coil, as long as we're moving and shooting, we are doing upwards of 1 million to 2 million damage each time, which is completely and utterly ridiculous, and obviously that damage will even go higher the quicker that we move. Now this build is an unbelievable amount of fun, and if you do have any questions, I will be happy to answer them in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.